Tonight on TBN, the 2024 presidential election is less than a month away. Gus Creech spoke to students and teachers about the election and how their lives will be affected. Next, a new phone policy is forcing students to adapt to an academic day without phones. Azariah Charles spoke to head of upper school Peter Newcomb about the motivation behind the ban. The boys' varsity soccer team started the season strong with the help of newly hired coach Kayode McKinnon. Felipe Quieroz spoke to Coach Kayode on the team's early success. Stay tuned at the end of the episode for a sneak peek on the dorm lip sync contest and find out who won. All this and more next.
Hello, I'm Gus Creech.
And I'm Azariah Charles, and we are your new executive producers for the 2024-2025 school year.
We hope everyone had a good summer and is settling well into the new school year.
As the election is only a month away, the presidential race is becoming a part of our lives. Gus Creech spoke to students and teachers about the election.
The 2024 presidential race is arguably the most consequential election in American history. Students and teachers alike are discussing the election, both inside and outside of the classroom. TBN spoke to Mix Collins Jordan, an Amstead history teacher, and Zach Gotthelf, a student in her class.
I think the way we're hoping to structure this political traditions unit is also in dialogue with some of the big issues of this election season. So we're very much thinking about restructuring with the election in mind.
Yeah, we're doing a lot on the election right now. We just watched the debate, the Harris-Trump debate. We were just mostly looking for what we saw throughout both sides, through how they were speaking, their tone of voice, and we actually kept our biases out of it a lot. No one was really talking about their personal political views. We kept it strictly fact-based.
We don't necessarily always emphasize the personal belief piece as much. We're really looking to push students to think about the election as historians, to think about the election as political scientists, right?
Outside of class, students are also anticipating the election. They're concerned about participation and taking action.
It's very crucial to talk about the election with your family, your friends, and anyone. And quite frankly, it's important to talk about every single election, even if it's a midterm, if it's a presidential election, because they all have tremendous impact on constituents, and we're all constituents. But also not, especially on a master's landscape, not just for U.S. Citizens at masters, but really international students at masters. It's the overall well-being of the United States in this case.
We kind of were just feeling a little bit hopeless about the election coming up because we're unable to vote. We're not 18 yet. And we had heard word that many of the kids who can vote in the school almost weren't going to utilize their vote because we live in New York and we're in a blue state. That kind of frustrated us because us who can't vote, we just feel like there's nothing that we can really do. So we're reaching out to the past 4 years and we're seeing if they're registered to vote, and it's through a texting platform so they can ask us questions and we can reach out to them. And then we also wanted to send handwritten letters to people in swing states because that is also a really crucial part of this election, and we just want to get people who can vote out there and voting. This is our lives we're talking about, and our generation is really going to be affected greatly by the outcome.
For students of the master's school, whether we are of voting age or not, this is an election we will all be paying close attention to.
It was really interesting to hear about students' perspectives and what they had to say about the class.
I know being part of the Amstead class has really kept me updated with the 2024 election.
Late this summer, head of school Laura Danforth and head of upper school Peter Newcomb sent an email to the entire master's community announcing the new cell phone policy. This shift caught many by surprise, but students are now adapting to the change. Azariah Charles spoke to Peter Newcomb about the thoughts behind this new policy.
Welcome to Disconnected the Series, where we talk all about the new cell phone policy and some alternatives to cell phones. This is episode 1, where we will be hearing about why we have the new cell phone policy and all the rules surrounding the policy. On August 15, 2024, an email was sent out to parents and students from Laura Danforth and Peter Newcomb, informing them of a new cell phone policy that would be put in place in the upcoming school year. The email says, beginning Tuesday, September 3rd, cell phone use will not be permitted on the Master School campus for all upper school students during the academic day from 8:30 a.m. to 3:05 p.m. During this time, students will be required to have their cell phones turned off and stored in their backpacks, left at home, or in their dorm rooms. Cell phones cannot be stored in a student's pocket. Masters is just one of the many schools around the country starting to ban the usage of cell phones. The new policy bans cell phones, but does it also have an effect on other devices? Well, let's hear about it from Peter Newcomb, head of the upper school.
It doesn't. So right now we're focused primarily on the cell phones because that is the easiest way to access social media. So our network also doesn't allow social media sites to be accessed during the school day. Boarders can get on after 3:05. It opens back up for them. But no, our focus primarily was on social media through phones and not necessarily technology writ large. We moved in this direction last year with the cell phone holders, and I think after looking at a lot of the research, there's just so much evidence that would suggest that phones and social media in particular are really unhealthy for developing brains, and our first task is to keep students safe. So this really felt like a pretty mission-aligned decision. We've had a number of faculty who have come up trying to be really creative to both honor the policy and also provide exceptional programming. So we've made an investment in a number of devices, whether those be cameras or iPads or recorders, stopwatches to time things in science class. So we've made a significant investment in making sure that the teachers have the tools they need. So we purchased 6 cameras for the seniors that can be checked out in the library. And so I know some students have already been doing that quite a bit. So it's exciting that they're going to be able to document it. The purchase of the cameras actually came about as a result of some conversations I had with some senior leaders who were worried about documenting senior year and missing out on that opportunity.
Next episode, we will see some of the creative ways people are able to communicate with friends around campus as well as capture memories with them. The new cell phone policy was honestly hard at first, but I'm starting to like it now.
I agree. It was initially a challenge, but there are some positives.
The Masters boys varsity soccer team has a new head coach who is changing the program's culture. Felipe Quieroz spoke to the coach about the changes he's making.
As the 2024 boys varsity soccer team kicks off their season on a high note, a new figure leads the charge. Coach Kayode, a former captain of the Guyana national soccer team and coach of their U20 squad, now faces a fresh challenge, guiding the Masters varsity team. Having played and coached against soccer powerhouses like Brazil and Argentina, Coach Kayode now brings his experience to the FAA, and he's doing it his way.
Coaching is coaching, and the whole definition of coaching is, to me, it's about transformation of individuals. So regardless if you're coaching at national team level, or you're coaching at the grassroots level, or in this case, at a boarding school, a private school level, it's about moving individuals from where they are to where they need to be.
We spoke to senior Johnny Tierjorchak, who praised the significant impact that Coach Kayode has on the team.
I'd say we definitely have much more of an identity in terms of the way we want to play. We have much more direction. We know what type of team we want to be in terms of how we play out wide, and we really know our identity. And I'd say that's a massive difference in terms of I think every player on this team believes in what we're doing, believes in our identity.
TBN interviewed Masters Athletic Director Logan Condon, who explained why Coach Kayode was the perfect choice for boys varsity soccer.
We have pretty rich history in that sport and being successful. So we wanted somebody who could build on that, but also take us to the next level. He's got such a high level of coaching IQ, as well as he really fits the mission and in his philosophy, the mission of what our institution stands for.
One of the first days we really defined what a winning mentality looks like and what a losing mentality looks like, and what we have to do to have a winning mentality, and that's been where most of the changes have been made and where we still need to make changes in terms of how we show up to games, how we prepare, what our mentality is like, what our culture is like, and that's really what we believe will build a winning mentality.
mediocrity is not something that I like to be a part of. When they're able to do their best and you put all of that together, you get some of the best. There's still room for growth. There's still lots and lots of work to be done.
He really wants to build not only strong soccer players, but strong people. So that's where we felt he was such a perfect fit for us.
As the boys varsity soccer team enjoys their best start since 2022 under Coach Kayode, their sights are set firmly on FAA glory. I'm Felipe Quieroz. This is Tower Broadcast News.
The Masters boys varsity soccer team has had a great start to the season.
You can really tell how much work Coach Kayode and Coach Jagranoff are putting into making this team successful.
And finally, a nail-biting lip sync battle between the dorms.
It's a really special moment where folks get to bond and students get the opportunity to really see their hard work and preparation and their talent all come together in one place. And I think it is such a wonderful reminder of not only how talented and creative our students are, but also just how much the preparation that they put in is worthwhile.
Each year, the Master's School holds an annual dorm lip sync, where the entire boarding community gathers and participates in lip sync competition. For this 2024 competition, students spent a week rehearsing for this event, and every dorm performed amazingly. Eventually, Cole took third place, Cushing took second, and Ford won first place.
And that's all we have time for here tonight on Tower Broadcast News. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember to subscribe to Tower Broadcast News on YouTube and follow @Masters Tower on Instagram and Facebook.
Thank you to everyone who made this episode possible, and make sure to tune in to our next broadcast. And on that note, I'm Azariah Charles.
And I'm Gus Creech. And from everyone here on the TBN staff, have a great night.